Hey guys, it's Judy and welcome back to my channel and actually back to my spooky podcast. I had this idea of wanting to do a podcast with friends in the spooky community last year in August, and I only ended up doing one, and I had my friend be a co-host with me. Her name is Stephanie. And then I just got so busy. So our first podcast, you can find that on my YouTube. It was filmed last year in August, and it was actually a couple days before the Nightmares Revealed event that we had for Knott's Scary Farm. And I'm telling you, right after that, it was like back to back to back spooky events every weekend up until October 31st. So it was just really hard to be able to do these events and then, you know, work in between at Spirit Halloween and edit these videos that take, you know, half a day or all day, just depending on the length of the video. But I am back and I'm gonna do the podcast a little bit different. So I had this area for us here when Stephanie came in, and my idea was to have like a podcast here with her and then just invite our friends in the spooky community. But it's a little bit hard because people work and school and, you know, they have lives with their kids. So I'm just going to go ahead and do my videos or my podcast a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do weekly recaps for any news in the Halloween community. So there was just so much craziness this past week. So I'm going to try to recap every week, and I'm gonna try to do my videos on Sunday to have them out on Mondays, and if not, then they're gonna be out on Tuesdays. But I'm gonna try to be more consistent this time, and then eventually I'll have some of my friends jump in who I've been wanting to talk to about their careers in the haunt community. So those will be coming soon. But thank you so much for joining me, and I appreciate all the love and support on my channel. Now, before we begin in today's video, I just want to let you know that these videos are going to be short. I'm trying to aim them at maybe 20 minutes if possible. So like I said, they're going to be a recap of Halloween news. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about everything that broke out last week. So we're going to be talking the news with Six Flags Magic Mountain, a little bit of Scary Farm, and some announcements from Horror Nights, and then some other things sprinkled in. So this is the Halloween news from June 22nd all the way through this Sunday or this weekend, June 29th. So I'm gonna start off with Saturday. So on June 22nd, I went to Whittier, to the Whittier Society Museum, and we did a ghost tour with Jacob Caputo. And I had done an event with Jacob, I think like early May. So he knows all his history with the city of Whittier, and he offers a few tours, a little bit different from each. But the event that I went to in May was, I didn't record that for YouTube, but I did do a reel for Instagram. But the event that I went to in May, we ended up going to this vegan restaurant in Whittier, and we were just enjoying dinner, having drinks, and then Jacob does a kind of ghost story thing while you're eating. So that was really cool. So he talked about the ghost stories from Disneyland and from Knott's Berry Farm, and I learned a lot. So very interesting. So check his tours out. But he invited me back to a different tour, and this one was at the Whittier Society Museum, and this one was called the Ghosts and Legends Tour, which is a flashlight tour inside the museum. Now this tour will be coming back in August, and I highly suggest it. So I have a YouTube video on that, so if you guys want to watch that and if it intrigues you, make sure to book it because he does sell out. I do want to add that he will be back in August with that tour. He does have 3 different time slots. So I can't remember the times off the top of my head. I'll put the information at the bottom. But I know there was like a 6 o'clock one or 6:30. They're about an hour 15. And so if you want to experience it when it's fully dark inside the museum, because right now in California, it doesn't get dark until like 8:30, 8:45, almost 9, believe it or not. So if you really want to experience a complete dark museum, then I would suggest booking the tour for 9 p.m. So it goes from 9 p.m. to about 10:15 p.m. And that's the one we did. And people brought their flashlights. And if you don't have a flashlight, you can also use your phone. But he talks about the ghosts and legends of Whittier and the haunted items that are in the museum that have been donated in the last, I guess, 100 years. A very amazing tour. Jacob Caputo has worked at Disneyland. He was actually a Jungle Cruise skipper. And he does work for Knott's Scary Farm at times, so he might look familiar if you see him around. That's why you've probably seen him from Knott's Scary Farm or Knott's Berry Farm. But again, I highly recommend his tours. I think they're only like $30, so grab a friend, grab your husband, your girlfriend, whoever, and just enjoy a night out. So I just want to start off the video with thanking Jacob again for having us, and me and my friend Angela, we had a wonderful time. And I know he was talking about doing another tour for a very historic house in Whittier. So he said that if that happens, that might happen in November. So I'm just like crossing my fingers, and hopefully he does get approved for that tour and we can go back and enjoy more tours with Jacob. He's with Whittier Haunted Tours. So thank you again, Jacob. So let's kick it off with just a crazy Tuesday last week. So last Tuesday, everything broke loose. So that morning I had woken up because Disney had announced that Oogie Boogie Bash tickets were selling for Tuesday. Now, if you've been to Oogie Boogie Bash or you've been in the queue to buy Oogie Boogie Bash tickets, you guys know how crazy it is to get tickets. Like, it could take you a whole day. It could take you multiple days. There was a mess last year. I think it was just a bunch of resellers trying to buy tickets. A lot of people that have been going for 10, 15, 20 years, including Mickey's Halloween Party at Disneyland, they couldn't get tickets for the first time. So this year, it was so smooth. So on Tuesday, they had people that have the Inspire key, which is the highest tier for Disney passes here in Anaheim, California. So we were allowed to buy tickets on Tuesday. I have an Inspire key myself, so I was able to log in and grab my tickets. So I had to log on to the queue at 8:45 in the morning, and they said that the queue would open up at 9. So I only waited 15 minutes for the queue to open. But once that queue was up and running, my time was only 22 minutes in the line. So that's possibly been the easiest that I've been able to get tickets in a very long time. And so I don't know if it's because people were not buying tickets, or maybe there's not that many Inspire keys that were trying to buy tickets on Tuesday, but it was super easy. So we have a tradition of going every year. I have a 5-year-old son that's going to be 6 by the time we go on Halloween, but we buy our tickets for Halloween Day, and that's kind of like our safe place to trick-or-treat with my son. So, but during that time of me waiting in line to get my tickets, Six Flags dropped the bomb, and then Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood dropped the bomb. So I was like, oh my God, like I can't get off of my computer. Like I had to use another device to see what was going on. But everything was dropping at the same time on Tuesday, like at 9 a.m. So I'm going to begin by talking about Halloween Horror Nights. So lately, all their hints for their teasers of mazes, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but these teasers of the artwork of the monsters that they've been releasing the last week or two, they've been releasing at 9:05 p.m. Okay, so I'm thinking like, what's up with 9:05 p.m.? And then on Tuesday, they did it at 9:05 a.m. to announce another maze, right? And it hit me, 9/5. That means September 5th. And HHN's first day of opening HHN is September 5th, 9/5. So I think that's why that's a cute little Easter egg. So I don't know if anybody's noticed that, so I wanted to bring that up. But on Tuesday, which on Monday night they did a teaser again, but on Tuesday they did announce Monstros 2. Monstros 2 is coming to Halloween Horror Nights. And based on the monsters, wow, like I am really excited for this one. Like I really enjoyed Latin Monstros last year. And I actually did a tour with John Murdy. So if you guys want to look at some of those photos, just go through my Instagram and check in August 24th or no, maybe a couple days after, but I did post some photos of that tour. I got to tour Latin Monstro's house, and I got to tour the Evil Dead house. So if you guys want to look at that, I do have a post on that. But I'm really excited. Like I said, I did love last year's Monstro's house, but the monsters for this year, I don't know. They're like a lot spookier to me, and it's just the legends that we've been hearing, like El Cucuy and stuff like that, Codejo, and so I'm really excited for this house. I'm really excited. I think this is going to be possibly one of my top houses, I think, because I did really enjoy Latin Monstros last year, so I feel like this one's going to be like on the top of my list too. John Murdy does know how to do original houses, so I'm really excited to see his vision come to Monstros Part 2. Now, he also mentioned that Monstros 2 will be at the same location as Latin Monstros from last year, which is the Parisian Courtyard that it's been in between the diner and the little like cafe shop. So it's going to be in that same location. And I went to Universal on Friday, and it's coming along really nicely. Like, the facade looks really pretty, and they're making it like another entrance to the cemetery, kind of similar to what last year was. And they're gonna have La Muerte again in the front. So if you're familiar with that maze last year, if you've seen YouTube videos, there was La Muerte like in the front with the shovel, and he's gonna guide you through, and then you see him at the end. So he's gonna be like our tour guide again for this maze, but that's gonna be at that same location from last year. Now, before we jump into Six Flags Magic Mountain, because they released the information on the same day, let me take a few minutes to just announce, I don't know if anybody's noticed this, but on that same day, I'm telling you, this on Tuesday was just like boom, 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 boom. But on Tuesday, the Hollywood Walk of Fame announced its star receivers for 2025. And thank you, Hollywood, for recognizing the horror community. So it was announced on Tuesday as well that John Carpenter and Robert England will be receiving Hollywood stars in 2025. So if anybody deserves stars, it's these two legends, iconic. I'm really happy for them. There's no dates announced for them yet, I think, but I've never been to these things. Like, I know there's people that get there really early or camp out for like their celebrities, but I'm gonna try to see if I can make it to Robert England, because he's like one of my favorite slashers, obviously Freddy Krueger. So even if it's from a distance, I would love to see that whole process, and I'm really curious to see where John Carpenter's and Robert's star will be located in Hollywood. And a big congratulations to John and to Robert for your stars. We are going to be talking about Six Flags Magic Mountain Fright Fest. This year it is being called Extreme because they're going hard. They are going hard, and they have rightfully added that to their title, Extreme. So let's talk about that. So Six Flags sent out a press release, which I was able to get one. I am part of their media, so thank you to Six Flags for involving me and sending me these emails to share with you guys. So Six Flags sent out a press release on Tuesday, and wow, I don't know like what to say. Like, people are asking me for my opinions, and I'm just like, I'm stoked, I'm excited. They have a really bright future, and I just can't wait to see how they're going to be able to pull this off, because I know they will. So Six Flags Magic Mountain announced on Tuesday that they will be bringing back Saw. So if you had gone to Screen Break the last year and this year in March, and Fright Fest in September and October of last year, you might have been able to go through the Saw maze. It was one of the busiest mazes, obviously, right? So they are bringing it back, but the Saw that we went through the last year was Saw X. This time they're calling it the Saw 20th, I guess, for the 20th anniversary of Saw. So I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of changes throughout the maze, and my only thing that I want to pick on is that I do love the maze. I think the last year that we went through it, they have really good scenes of like different movies throughout, but the only thing I want to like pick on is they just don't have the legal right to use a song or like the anthem of Saw. And I feel like it was just a really big disappointment, because when we walked through the maze the first time, there was no music, and then when they brought it back for Scream Break, there was music, but it was just not the anthem. So I really hope that Fright Fest and Six Flags can work with the studio and try to see if we can get that music, because I think it will make a really big difference for that maze. Now, if you did go to Fright Fest, you also know that they had a Conjuring maze, and I'm very biased with that franchise because I just love it. It's one of my favorite franchises out there, and they are bringing it back. But they did mention that in that universe, they are bringing Annabelle and the Nun. So I can't remember if I think there was an Annabelle doll in the intro of that maze, if I remember correctly. So in that maze, when we went through it last year, it's like Ed and Lorraine are the people that welcome you in the beginning. So you're in the living room. But I did see an Annabelle doll in behind the glass. But I feel like they might incorporate her more throughout the maze. But I'm really excited to see the Nun. Again, I'm just biased. I know a lot of people are not the biggest fans of the Nun, but I love them, and I did like part 2 a lot. And she's just creepy. She's very creepy, and I hope they bring, because they do have a long hallway in that maze, but it's not the Nun at the end. It was somebody else kind of doing this, and if you see my YouTube video, you'll probably see it, but she goes like this. But in the movie, now I'm going to hate myself if I'm wrong, but I don't think it was a Nun. But I think that's the section where they can use the Nun, just like in part 1. So there's a scene where the Nun's kind of standing by the clock, and I think Lorraine sees her. So I just can't wait for that one. I'm just really excited. I think that's the second maze I'm excited to see for the additions of Annabelle and the Nun. So yeah, the Conjuring Universe is coming back again to Fright Fest. They are also bringing Army of the Dead, which is a Netflix movie that came out, I don't remember if I had read 2019, I think. I have not seen it. I will be watching it. It's a Netflix movie, and I think Dave Bautista is like the lead actor, if I'm not mistaken. So, but I really like that they're bringing this type of movie into a theme park for Halloween, because it's very different. I feel like this might be more common to like the younger folks in their 20s, or maybe people that are barely getting into these like theme park haunts. I think that's gonna grab a lot of attention to them. So that's coming. So one of the ones that people are most excited for, that I feel like a lot of people will be going to Fright Fest for, is for Trick or Treat. So Trick or Treat is coming to Six Flags, and let me tell you, my excitement for this is beyond. So this is my #1 maze that I'm looking forward to next year, followed by The Conjuring. But Trick or Treat is a very beloved and very iconic movie. And HHN did have this maze a long time ago. I can't even remember what year it was. So a lot of people did not get to experience that. But now that it's coming to Fright Fest, I feel like a lot of people that have not done Fright Fest or never cared to go, I feel like this is the house that people are actually gonna go to and say, you know what, I'm going to Fright Fest just for this house. So I have friends that have been saying that to me already. So I know this is gonna bring the crowds to Fright Fest. And let me tell you, if you're planning on only going one time, buy your like front of the line pass if they have it, because the lines at Fright Fest are very, very long. And the group that's at Fright Fest, like the audience and the guests, there's a lot of teens there because of the roller coasters and stuff. So these kids could wait all day, I feel like. And us as adults, we don't really have the patience for that. So buy your express or buy your front of the line. But they also have like the season pass for it. So if you want to go more than one time, then maybe get that, and then you can just show up early or kind of do the mazes late at night. But if you're only gonna do a one night thing just to check out Trick or Treat, just get the front of the line. It's going to be so worth it. So that's coming. So for Six Flags Magic Mountain, I feel like my favorite thing, or my most anticipated thing, is going to be Trick or Treat, followed by the Conjuring Universe. Those are my two favorites. I'm really excited to see what they bring. Also, just to mention this, there's a little bit of confusion online because they did mention that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was coming. It is coming to Six Flags, but not to our Six Flags in Valencia, California, which is like LA County. They're taking that maze out to New Jersey to Six Flags Great Adventure. So they're gonna have all these mazes in addition to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And they also announced that the zombie version of the DC characters, there's something called Deceased. That maze is going to Mexico. So Six Flags does have a theme park in Mexico. So they're going to be getting that one. And I really wish, like, I love Texas Chainsaw, but we've done it at HHN. So I really don't care for it. But I would have been so stoked to see the deceased maze here, just because I love zombies. And for example, like the what if zombies of Marvel, like I love that. So to see DC characters be zombified would have been an amazing thing to see. So hopefully, if it does really well in Mexico, I'm hoping that maybe we can get that here in the future. And moving on to Not Scary Farm. Not Scary Farm has been a little bit quiet recently. I feel like a lot of the spotlight has been with HHN just kind of dropping their mazes, and now Six Flags dropping this huge atomic bomb on us, really. The other day on the 26th, Not Scary Farm posted some stories to their IG. So if you're not following Scary Farm Instagram, make sure to follow them, because they don't post the Halloween stuff on the Not Scary Farm page. They post it on Not Scary Farm. So make sure to follow them there. But they did post a few stories on what looks like to be hints. Well, I thought they were hints, but I saw on X, I think on Twitter, a few people were saying that it looked like there were photos from inside Waxworks maze. So it's just really dark and you walk really fast sometimes. So I didn't even know if that was the inside of Waxworks, but people are saying that it could be photos from inside Waxworks, and people are hinting that it could be the last year this year for that maze. If you're familiar with Not Scary Farm reuses their mazes for about 5, 6, maybe 7 years. So last year we did lose 2 mazes, and then maybe the third one if they don't bring back the 50th anniversary maze. But we are getting some new ones this year. So I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see if it was a hint with Waxworks or if it was a hint for a new maze. So we're gonna have to wait and see for that. Now on Thursday, on the 27th, guess who comes back? Halloween Horror Nights dropping their second maze of the week, which I don't think they normally do. They like to do like one maze a week or whatever, but they dropped a second maze on Thursday announcing Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is coming back. I don't know if I was surprised. I felt like we knew something was coming. But I'll be honest. I really thought that we were gonna get Beetlejuice as opposed to Ghostbusters. I figured we would get Beetlejuice first because of, a movie that's coming out again this year. I know we have Frozen Empire come out this year, but Beetlejuice is huge and everybody loves Beetlejuice, and people have been asking John Murdy, like, bring back Beetlejuice, because I think there was a rumor we were supposed to get Beetlejuice in 2020 during COVID, and we didn't get it, but Orlando ended up still getting theirs and we never got it. So, and then it's been what, 20, 30 years, 25 years or something, like 24 years since the last or the original Beetlejuice. I feel like it would have been amazing. And who knows? I don't know. Like, we could still be getting it, right? Like, they still need like 3 houses or 4 houses left to announce. So it could be. But we did get an announcement for Ghostbusters. And that maze is going to go to the H lot, which is where Chucky was last year. So in that direction where you kind of go through the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, you kind of go through the back. They have those 2 mazes by that parking structure. That's where Ghostbusters is going to be at. Now, they are basing it for Frozen Empire, so I'm assuming there's gonna be some frozen areas in the maze, maybe really cold, chilly rooms. On Friday, I did get to go to Universal Studios with my son. We have a pass, so we go once in a while, but I was finally able to check out the HHN merchandise that they have so far for the first time. So I got to see Quiet Place merchandise. So they have a heat reactive mug, they have the shirt, and then I was able to see the Ghostbusters merch that had dropped the day before. So they have a hat, they have a shirt as well. And then they have the collection Where Horror Lives, which we had seen Orlando drop before we got it. So it was a shirt and then the tumbler and the hat. So I was able to see all that stuff. So I'm really excited to see the rest of the collection drop as announcements keep coming. But yeah, I was really excited to see Halloween merch again inside the park. To end today's video for the recap of Halloween news from last week, they did announce a Beetlejuice Experience coming to Hollywood. I don't have the information in front of me, but I will add the information here or onto the screen. But that is coming, and tickets go on sale. I think it was July 3rd. I know there was a wait list to, I guess, get like a early access or like a pre-sale code or something like that. But if you are a Beetlejuice fan, I don't think you want to miss this. I think from what I read was about an hour and a half experience. So I'm thinking it might be like an interactive, immersive walkthrough. That's what I'm assuming. No prices yet, but that is coming, I think, sometime in August in Hollywood, but tickets go on sale on July 3rd. So I'll put the information for anybody that would like to do that. But that wraps it up for all the major Halloween news from last week. Again, I will be doing this as much as I can just because I like to share these news and I like to share my thoughts and my opinions. And I want to hear you guys in the comments too, and let me know what you guys think as well. I could talk Halloween every day, so that's why I want to get back to my spooky podcast. And it's especially with things kind of heating up, or this is July 1st. So we have 2 months officially for HHN to kick it off with Halloween haunts. So I'm really excited. So I want to give my thoughts, my opinions, what I'm looking forward to, what mazes are going to be ranked, you know, all that fun stuff. So if you guys love the video, make sure to stab the button on the way out and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And I will see you guys in the next one. So stay spooky and happy Halloween.